All right, welcome to Rock the Spread, Week 2 NFL season. Week 1, we got through Week 1. It was a good week. This is a decent week for me, actually. If you tuned into last week's show, hey, I say don't follow my advice, and I believe it. But if you so happen to have accidentally made the same picks as me, might have made a little money, depending on the picks you followed. But record-wise, Week 1 against the spread, I went 8-6-1. Over-unders, 11-4. So over-under, I was red hot. I don't feel as confident this week over-under. They look a little weird this week. But last week, I was on fire. The best bets of the week, I went 1-2 on that one. Got the over. I hit the over in the Buccaneers and Saints game. The old quarterbacks, they found a way to get over on 48 points. But the spread, man, against the spread, I was feeling really good on the morning slate of games until I checked the damn Lions score. The Lions fucked me, man. The Lions, they lioned. Let's just say that much. They did what they do. Trubisky, right? It's like 23 to, I can't forget what the score was. It was like 23-6, right? It was almost going into the fourth quarter. And I feel pretty confident when the opposing quarterback is Mitch Trubisky when that's the score. But I guess he's Peyton Manning in his prime in the fourth quarter against the Lions. So Lions, they're getting close to dead to me territory. Getting close. They're not there. You can't kill a team after week 1, especially with no preseason, but they're getting close to dead to me on that one. So anyways, like I said, 8-6-1 against the spread, 11-4 over under. Best bets of the week. We're going to do better this week. I promise. As always, I'm going to go through the spreads and over unders and make my picks. But please do not consider this gambling advice. This is not something you should take as gospel or anything like that. Listen to somebody else, but don't take my advice. Do not take out a second mortgage, do stuff like that. Put up collateral, like a body part. Don't do that. Nonetheless, let's have a little fun this week. So week 2, one thing I noticed, some of the spreads are kind of funky, but the over and unders, man, like it's weird. I feel like in a lot of games, the over-under is like really low. Just because last week you saw a lot of vanilla offenses. You saw a lot of dink and dunks. Nobody really wants to do anything super crazy, open up the playbook too much, just because you don't know if your team knows it yet. But I think this week they might be overcorrecting, right? I think it might be overcorrecting, and some of the unders seem pretty low. So over-unders, I'm a little kind of skittish on those. But nonetheless, we're going to make the picks. So let's start with the Thursday night game. We have Bengals at Browns. And the Browns, yes, the Cleveland Browns favored by 6 points. And the over-under is 43.5 for that game. So personally, I'm going Bengals +6. Cincinnati +6. Joe Burrow's going to go in there. Be better than the other number 1 pick, Baker Mayfield. You notice he's got commercials. Guys still got commercials, man. You'd think after year 1, like they'd be like, all right, there's going to be a number 1 pick next year. Let's give that guy commercials because he doesn't stink, right? Damn, Baker. Like those stadium commercials are not aging well, man. The Ravens, I was pretty confident about the Ravens last week, but damn. You know what I mean? I didn't think it would be that kind of ass whipping. So I like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow didn't play well last week. Didn't play great. Thought he executed the 2-minute drill pretty well at the end. Put his team in position to win. Randy Bullock, I don't know what that was. Sorry, I don't know what that was. But Joe Burrow got you there, right? You got to make the kick. So I think that the Bengals defense is competent enough to stop Baker Mayfield. I think Baker's going to put up some points. But if the Bengals lose, I don't see it being by much. I think this is going to be an ugly game, but I still think it goes over the 43.5. So I like Cincinnati Bengals +6 over the 43.5 points. Maybe some defensive touchdowns in there. I could see like a Cincinnati defensive touchdown in there. Yeah, Thursday night, always sloppy, short week, especially with no preseason, but still. I'm going Joey B, LSU, go Tigers. This time it's a Bengal, +6. Don't let me down, Joey. Next up, so this is the first slate of games on Sunday, 10 a.m. kickoff West Coast time, 1 p.m. East Coast time. New York Giants at Bears. And the Chicago Bears favored -5.5, and the over-under is only 41.5. Sheesh. So let me start before I make my pick. Both these teams, not super impressed with them. Not super impressed. But in this type of game, I'm just going with the better quarterback. And Daniel Jones ain't the better quarterback in a lot of matchups, but I think he is here. I think Daniel Jones is better than Mitch Trubisky. Skill position-wise, it almost looks about the same to me, and I think the Giants might have a little more. Bears have probably a better defense, but I think the Giants' defense is good enough to stop the Bears, stop Trubisky. So I like the Giants covering the 5.5 points. I'm going Giants plus 5.5 points, and I like the over 41.5. I think both these teams get into the 20s with points. It'll be around there. I think 41.5 is low, but I don't think it'll be much higher than that. But it goes over. So again, Giants 5.5, Giants plus 5.5, over 41.5. Next up, Falcons at Cowboys. This is one of those games where I think the Falcons are again. That was another one that killed me last week. The Falcons. Look, I was pretty confident about it. I won't lie. There's receipts. Watch the last episode. I really thought that they were going to at least give Seattle a tough go at it. That did not happen. So the Falcons made me look stupid last week. So the Cowboys are favored by 4. Cowboys -4. I'm going Cowboys. Hammering that. And the over-under is 51.5. So I'm going to go under on the 51.5. I don't think the Falcons are going to score that much on the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are pissed off. They're pissed. Offensive pass interference call on Michael Gallup on Jalen Ramsey last week. They didn't play all that well offensively. I do think this is a much more favorable matchup. I think this Rams defense, and I will get to that later, this Rams defense has taken a really big leap forward from last year. New defensive coordinator. Wade Phillips was aging like milk over there. And so I'm not going to put the Cowboys offensively in that kind of overrated department yet, right? There's a lot of hype behind them, and people like to jump on them early when they don't do something good. That's why I think this line's kind of low. I think the Cowboys should be favored by 6 or 7 in this game. So I'm hammering the Cowboys on this one. Falcons, yikes. I can't pick them in this game. So I like this game going under only because I think the Cowboys will put up I see this being 30-17 type game. Cowboys get right. Go 1-1. Teams that go 0-2, there's a lot of stats that show you're not going to make the playoffs. So I think the Cowboys get the sense of urgency, as urgent as you can get week 2. And Cowboys are going to handle business next week. Lions at Packers. Division game. You remember last week I liked Packers money line. I did also like Packers covering. I think that's what I officially picked. The Packers did not disappoint. They came out banging against Minnesota. So this week, like I said, I'm pissed off at the Lions. I'm pissed off. The Packers are favored by 6. Packers -6. That's what I'm going with. So I think Aaron Rodgers is pissed off that Jordan Love is on the same sideline as him. I think he's pissed off that the team didn't get him any wide receiver help, didn't get him a lot of other help, maybe some running back help, A.J. Dillon, stuff like that, but they didn't get him a lot of help. And he was like, oh, you're not building this team for me? Is that what you're saying? Because I just plan on winning with this team, and I plan on going off. He went off on Minnesota last week. It was ugly. It was disgusting. Those young DBs had no clue what was going on. So I don't think it's going to get any worse against the Lions because, again, the Lions gave up a bunch of points to Mitch Trubisky in one quarter. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out division game. He knows the Lions well. The Lions are his son, kind of like the Bears and the Vikings are at times. Rodgers owns this division. Rodgers covers this spread. Packers -6. Lock it in. I like this game going over 48.5 as well. Over 48.5. I think the Lions will put up some points. I can see the score being very similar to what it was last week. Very high score, like how the Packers and Minnesota game was. So I definitely like over 48.5. I'm actually very confident about that over. I think there's going to be a lot going on in that game. So next up, Jaguars at Titans. Titans are favored by 8. Titans -8. And the over-under is 41.5. So last week, who picked the Jaguars? Me. I'm not going to brag. I'm just letting you know. This is facts. Minshew Mania. We were jagging off, and we jagged off hard. We won. The Gardner Minshew doesn't lose like he doesn't. Okay, he loses. I'm not saying he's a winning quarterback, but it's tough to blow that guy out, man. He's a spoiler. I totally believe what PFF was saying. Sam Monson was saying, where it's like you can't tank with this guy. You can't tank for Trevor Lawrence. So I think these spreads are going to be high these first 3 or 4 weeks. Not in the Jaguars' favor, right? Unless you're betting on them, like me. I think the Jaguars cover. I was not impressed by the Titans. I was not impressed by them on Monday Night Football. I picked the Broncos, and the Broncos covered by the skin of their teeth. Thank you, Steven Gostkowski. I owe you an edible arrangement or something like that. But I think this is an ugly division game, like ugly. That's why the over-under is only 41.5. But I think the Jaguars, they got a chance to sneak out a win, but I think they cover these 8 points. I got Jaguars +8. Tannehill, okay. When are you ready to have the conversation that he fooled Tennessee last year? Pulled a Matt Flynn, Kevin Cobb, if you will. When are you guys ready to have that conversation? Because I'm ready to have it now. So Jaguars +8. Minshew Mania goes in there, covers the spread, and I like the over 41.5. Over 41.5. I think both these teams will put up in the 20s. Again, like these over-unders seem kind of low this week. I think they're overcorrecting a little bit. It's kind of weird. So the next game is Bills at Dolphins. Division game. Buffalo looked great last week. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 points. So it's Bills -5.5, and the over-under is 41.5. Again, another kind of low one, but this one, there's a good reason for that. Josh Allen, there's a lot you can critique. If you're a film guy, all 22 guy, you probably don't like him that much. But if you're a gambler, I think you always feel like you're in the game with him. I don't know what Josh Allen's record against the spread is as a quarterback, but he's one of those guys where if I'm in the sports book and I'm betting and I'm like, I want to be entertained. I don't watch a lot of Buffalo football or anything like that. I do. I'm just saying if I'm some guy, betting, I'm going to bet on this exciting guy who runs around. And it's like, when that guy plays, it's like the Jackass theme song should be playing. He's just running, flipping over shit, like throwing the ball a million feet. Like, hey, I'm Josh Allen. Welcome to Jackass. This is backflip over a linebacker and pitch it to a teammate that for no reason that doesn't know the ball's coming. And I'm going with him this week. Not impressed by the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins are going to win a lot of games this year. I don't think they have a lot on offense. They have maybe an okay defense. We'll see. Again, the Patriots are a bit interesting. I'll get to that later too. That game was ugly. Had that game perfect. Patriots covered in the under last week. But I think the Bills handle business again easily. This is another very easy one, I would say. And I like this game going under. I don't think the Dolphins even get in double digits this week. I see like a nice 24-9 win for the Bills. So, again, I like the Bills -5.5 and under 41.5 points. So, the next game is very similar to the Falcons at Cowboys game, where the Cowboys need to get right? The Cowboys need to get right, and I believe that they do, and I believe they get right in a very authoritarian manner. They will commit fascism, right? I think the Cowboys will commit acts of fascism on the Falcons. So this next game, I believe the same thing is going to happen. 49ers at Jets. The 49ers are favored. 49ers -7, and the over-under is 42.5. I think the Niners are going to kick the dog shit out of the Jets. The Jets showed nothing last week against the Bills. Showed nothing. It looked terrible. Sam Darnold did not say he was seeing ghosts, but I would argue that he probably was. And the Niners lost to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray played them well last year. He did. I thought the Niners were going to handle business last week, but they really didn't. And I don't think the same threat of the Niners getting a great pass rush, but Kyler Murray just hitting fast forward and just wiggling into the end zone or, flicking at DeAndre Hopkins. That threat is not there with the Jets. Sam Darnold's not going to do that. Nick Bosa is going to be doing some crazy, gross shit to Sam Darnold. It's not going to be things that children should see. So it's going to be tough. it's going to be tough for the Jets to even score points in this game. 49ers -7. I hammer it. I love this bet. And I like the under 42.5 because if the Jets don't score, if there's actually a shutout, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised. So 49ers -7. Jimmy G looked like shit last week. He might not even look good this week. It might not matter. It might not matter in this game. I think the Niners are going to be able to pound the ground game. They're going to be able to rush the passer. Richard Sherman's on IR. I understand that that's a concern. I think they have enough. I think they have enough to beat the Jets. I think the Jets are going to be, look, maybe they like Sam Darnold, but I think they're going to be looking at a very long-haired person in South Carolina, Clemson, in an orange uniform. I think they're going to be looking at that guy next year. So 49ers -7, under 42.5. This next game, Rams at Eagles. The Rams are favored -1.5. The over-under is 46.5. I was very impressed from what I saw from the Rams on Sunday night. They look great. And again, I'm not even as down on the Cowboys as the national media is. They overreact to the Cowboys. That's why they're kind of fun to bet on sometimes. But the Rams look really good. They look like they're back, right? They look like they're back. Last year, they went 9-7, but it just didn't look the same, right? Their offensive line wasn't very good. Their offensive line looks spry. Andrew Whitworth, by all means, could just lay down every play and be like, I'm old. Sorry, guys. But he was getting out there on screens. Robert Woods was getting whatever he wanted. And Malcolm Brown, that run game looked fantastic. I like the Rams. Aaron Donald wrecking shit. Jalen Ramsey wrecking shit. Leonard Floyd getting in the game. I forgot they had Leonard Floyd on a 1-year deal. I think this defense could be something. And look, the Eagles, they lost to Washington. Something funny about this. I'll get to it later, actually. The Eagles lost to Washington last week. They got some issues, especially while Lane Johnson's hurt, right? And Alshon Jeffrey. They don't have their big dogs going. I don't know if they've been practicing at all this week. I just like the Rams. I like the Rams covering this game and winning. I like the Rams -1.5, and I like the under 46.5. I think both teams are going to play a little defense in this matchup. I think that the Eagles got a little discouraged after a while, but I think their defense is going to actually step up at home. I think they're going to play a little bit. I think they're going to play a little bit better. So. I think the Rams win this game by about 3 points. It'll be a close one, probably a pretty good one. But I'm impressed by the Rams, and I'm going to keep riding them. I'm not keep riding them. I didn't last week, but I'm gonna start riding the Rams now because I like what I see. I think that division's a lot more open than people think, and I think the Rams are going to kind of be back to where they were and play well. So Rams -1.5, under 46.5 points. So next up, we have the Denver Broncos at Pittsburgh Steelers. The line is the Steelers -7, and over-under is 41.5. So the Broncos, man, I picked them to cover. Not impressed by the way they played. Not impressed at all. I'm not a Drew Lock believer. Yes, this is a Raider hat, so whatever. You want to talk shit, whatever. But not really a Drew Lock believer. I think that if he isn't making some crazy backyard football play, if you're making him sit in the pocket and connect on every throw, making reads and stuff, I think you live with whatever he does. I don't think he's going to be the guy you are tossing and turning at night if you're a defensive coordinator. I don't see Drew Lock that way. Jerry Jeudy got to work on the hands a little bit, but he's open every play. That's kind of scary. But the Broncos, they didn't excite me that much, and I was kind of disappointed the way the Titans looked. So I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one. The Steelers look great. The Steelers, Ben looks like he's back. He didn't play incredible against the Giants, but he looks like he's back. He didn't lose any arm strength. Again, like pitchers who get Tommy John might gain a little bit, right? Like it's like putting a whole new thing in there, knocking out the cobwebs. I think the Steelers are going to handle business. I think they have a top 5 defense in football. Daniel Jones killed him with a couple really nice throws. I don't think Drew Lock can make those throws. And you're not going to run the ball against Pittsburgh. They showed that. Saquon Barkley was my fantasy team suffered from that big time. But you're not going to be able to run the ball against Pittsburgh. And I think that the Steelers are going to handle business. Steelers -7. I love it. I love Steelers -7. And I think it's going to be over early. I don't think the Broncos have much against this Pittsburgh defense. And I think the Pittsburgh offense, Juju looks great now that Ben's back in there. And Deontay Johnson, Benny Snell looks good. I don't know. Chase Claypool, they got a little something going there. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh was. They're not better than Baltimore, but you know how those games are between those two teams once they start playing. So I think the Steelers have their eyes on this division, and I think they cover this spread. I think the Steelers win convincingly at home against Denver. Steelers -7, and I like the over 41.5. I think there's going to be enough points in this game. I think Pittsburgh gets around 27 points ish. You know what I mean? Broncos around 18. Something like that. So I think it goes over. Don't feel super confident about that over-under, but I do think it goes over. So next up, Panthers at Buccaneers. 2 0-1 teams. Again, you don't want to go 0-2. You don't want to go 0-2. The analytics, the stats do not look pretty good for teams that are trying to make the playoffs if you start 0-2, right? It's a 16-game season, but it's weird. It could be over after 2 games sometimes. Panthers at Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are favored by 8.5 points. So let's start with the Panthers, right? My Raiders, they go into Carolina and it was a crazy game with the Panthers. Oh my God, back and forth. Panthers are scrappy. I'll give them that. I don't think they're a good team, but I think they're scrappy. I think they're very similar to Jacksonville, to where if I see a spread over a touchdown, I'm going to have a tough time taking the favorite, right? I don't know if you guys follow that, but like if I see that the Panthers, like they are right here, plus 8.5, that's a lot of points. That Tampa offense didn't look good, and it's always been a weird fit. Like with me, Tom Brady is good. I still think he's a good quarterback. Bruce Arians is a good coach. Those wide receivers, they're good, but it doesn't seem like they fit together. It's just like taking like 4 different puzzles and be like, well, let's see what I can make out of this. And then you have like, I don't know, like an island mixed with like the Washington Monument as the puzzle, and it just looks like shit. And it's got to be the Panthers. I'm going the Panthers plus 8.5. I don't think they're going to win at all, but I think they're pesky enough to hang around, man. Teddy Bridgewater, he's solid. Joe Brady, I think he calls good offense. I think he knows what Teddy Bridgewater does, right? I think he knows what he does best. Teddy looks like he can still move a little bit, and that defense it's not good, but I think there's some good young talent on there. And I think if this Buccaneers offense works, it's not working now, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't think I can trust the Buccaneers to cover anything over like 3 points, really, right now. I just can't do it. So I like the Panthers plus 8.5. Now, as far as the over-under, I think this is going to be a sluggish game. They have the over-under at 47.5, and I think the logic behind this is that they think obviously the Buccaneers, Vegas believes that the Buccaneers are going to get right and just blow out the Panthers, and I don't see that. Therefore, I like the under 47.5 points. It's kind of one of those things where you take a bet, and it's like if you were going to pick one, you kind of got to use one pick to use the other, right? So if you think the Buccaneers are going to blow the Panthers out, you might go towards the over, right? Doesn't always work that way, but you want the gap to be big enough. So a lot of times that comes with a higher scoring game. And this time I like it under, right? Because I like the Panthers covering, and I like it kind of being just kind of a sloppy game, maybe a few turnovers, stuff like that. So again, Panthers plus 8.5, and I like the under 47.5 there. So next up, the Washington football team at the Arizona Cardinals, and the Arizona Cardinals are minus 6.5, and the over-under is 46.5. So I like both these teams. They're kind of fun. And I'm actually looking forward to watching this game. I think this game's going to be a good one. It's going to be the underrated game of the day, right? A lot of people are going to be tuning in this slate of game. It's a loaded afternoon slate of games, right? And I think this is going to be probably the best one out of all of them, the closest one. So I like what the Cardinals did last week against the Niners. I thought they played really well. But I don't think I can trust them to win by a touchdown against a defense that I believe has a chance to be just as good as the San Francisco 49ers. They beat the 49ers 24-20. And I don't think that they're going to be able to beat this Washington football team by more than 7 points. So I'm going to go with the Washington football team plus 6.5. I think they're going to be able to get after Kyler Murray. I think they're going to be able to cover a little bit better in the secondary. And hey, look, Dwayne Haskins, say what you will. He's got his moments. So I think he's going to be able to score on this Cardinals defense, which they can get after the passer. And Washington's offensive line, not good. So that could get interesting. But I do like this being a kind of a really close game, like kind of in the high teens too. Like I see this game being more of a defensive matchup, oddly enough, because you don't see the Cardinals as a good defense, but it does look like they're improving there, right? So I like the under in this game. 46.5 points. That's kind of high. So I like this being in the low 40s as far as the totals go. And again, I'll say it again, Washington football team plus 6.5 and the under 46.5. Next up, Chiefs at Chargers. So the Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points and the over-under is 47.5. I'm going to be simple with this one. I don't think the Chargers are very good. I don't think they know how to – I think they can score a little bit. I think they have – Austin Eckler's really good. Hunter Henry's good. Keenan Allen's good. Mike Williams is good. Tyrod Taylor's not. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I am going to pick them to cover until they stop covering. I think – in a division game, I think Andy Reid's going to come out there, and I think it's tough to keep Patrick Mahomes under 30 points. It really is. And I don't think the Chargers can score 30 points. So I like this game. I'm predicting the score to be 30-20, Kansas City Chiefs. That means the Chiefs minus 8.5 hits. So I'm picking the Chiefs minus 8.5, and I'm picking the over 47.5 points. So I can't pick against the Chiefs. This is one of those games where if you try to get cute and you're like, oh, 8.5, that's a lot. Then your head is just in your hands like, oh my God, what the fuck was I thinking? Right? As Patrick Mahomes is just throwing sidearm shortstop double play throws to Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? Walking into the end zone. Tyreek Hill just blowing past everybody. I'm going with the Chiefs until they prove me wrong. And that hurts. I'm a Raiders fan. That hurts. But I'm a Raiders fan, but if I'm gambling, I'd prefer to win too, right? So, again, Chiefs minus 8.5, over 47.5. Next up, Ravens at Texans. This is an interesting one too. The Ravens are -7. The over-under is 52.5 points. Ravens are incredible. Lamar's incredible, especially regular season Lamar. Their defense looks as advertised. The Texans, no. I'm sorry. I do not see it. I love Deshaun Watson. I think he's an incredible quarterback. They've got him for a long time. And after this year, I hope they can build around him because right now it doesn't look like they are. The Ravens -7 feels like stealing. It does feel like stealing. It's not – I don't know. I feel like the Texans' offense is overrated by Vegas. I think seeing Deshaun Watson there and all that speed around him, their offensive line isn't very good, right? The Ravens' defensive front is great. Their secondary, great. Linebackers, great. They have Patrick Queen. I forgot they had Patrick Queen, right? You know what I mean? They always find a way to get some guy like that late in the draft, like late in the first round. Their defense looks great. And I like the under 52.5 points because really – like, do you see the Texans putting up that many points on the Ravens defense? They didn't really blow. I thought last week, I thought they were going to be able to put up like 27 points on the Chiefs, right? And then the Chiefs would put up around 35. I didn't see that. And I think it's Deshaun Watson running for his life and just flicking his wrist and hoping something happens. So I can't pick that against the Ravens. I can't pick the Texans to cover. Ravens -7, and I like the under 52.5 points. Sunday Night Football. Here we go. Patriots at Seahawks. Cam Newton against Russell Wilson. Seahawks are favored. Seahawks -4, and the over-under is 44.5 points. Okay, let's talk about something, right? I picked the Patriots last week. I had a feeling that Belichick was going to know exactly what to do against Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick kept him up all off season. Like, why did I fucking lose to Ryan Fitzpatrick? Right. So now Cam Newton looked pretty good, right? Running the football with the Patriots last week, right? Against the Dolphins. I don't think that's going to happen against the Seahawks. I think Jamal Adams is going to just be like, where's Newton? I'm going to find him and I'm going to take his ass down, right? Their defense actually looked pretty damn good. And I don't think the Patriots offense, you can't characterize it as explosive. And Seattle, look, they don't have the 12th man, and I do think that's going to come into play when they start playing in the division, playing teams that are really good and stuff. But I don't think the Patriots are really good. I think they're like an 8-8, 9-7 team. So I think the Seahawks cover, right? I like Seahawks -4. Russell Wilson is a beast, man, and they're letting him do shit this year. They're not just handing it off to Chris Carson and telling Russell Wilson, you'll get a play action here. Just you wait. They're letting Russell Wilson cook. They're letting Russ cook, and I think he covers the 4 points for the Seahawks. Look, maybe they'll run the ball on the 1 yard line, right? Seahawks against the Patriots. Maybe they'll run the ball, right? That's the only reason they lost that Super Bowl anyways, right? Because they decided to pass the ball and do that kind of stuff. Maybe they'll let Russell Wilson keep it on a bootleg. Maybe Pete Carroll learns their lesson. I think Seattle covers these 4 points. Seattle -4. I like the over 44.5 points because I do think Cam Newton's going to score a couple touchdowns here, but I think the Seahawks are going to go off on the Patriots. So Seahawks -4, over 44.5 points. Monday Night Football, I'm a little scared about this one. I'm not going to lie. New Orleans Saints at Las Vegas Raiders. First game at Allegiant Stadium. The Saints are favored by 6 points, Saints -6, and the over-under is 50.5 points. Now let's start with the Saints. I don't believe that their offense is quite as good as it's been in years past, and a lot of that has to do with Drew Brees. They're going to be down Michael Thomas this week. They're really going to be relying on Jared Cook and Alvin Kamara, maybe a little Latavius Murray in there too. Now their defense is, I think it's very good. I think their secondary is good. I think that their defensive line is incredible. Cameron Jordan seems to finally be getting respect, which is nice. The Cal Bear, he's getting a little bit of respect. Finally, he's incredible. I'm being kind of facetious there. He's incredible. So the Raiders look good. They scored 34 points last week. On offense, they look good. I just think the Saints defense might be a bit too much. Even though, hey, like the Saints and the Raiders last time they played 2016, it was Derek Carr looked good in that game. So nonetheless, it pains me. I should throw this hat away because I shouldn't be allowed to wear it right now. But I am picking the New Orleans Saints -6 over the Raiders. I just think it might be just a bit too much. I'm hoping I'm wrong here, right? I'm hoping Raiders money line hits, obviously, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. But I think the Saints are a really complete team. I think it's going to be tough for the Raiders, and I like the over though because I do think the Raiders are going to be able to score some points. I just think that just the Raiders defense might not be there yet, right? They just might not be there yet. I think Taysom Hill, Jared Cook, Drew Brees will still be able to pick you apart on underneath stuff, and the Raiders are going to have to tackle. We're going to see how healthy they are in the linebacker core with Nick Kwiatkowski. It's going to be tough. So unfortunately, Saints -6, and I like the over 50.5 points. So that's this week's slate of games. I'm going to put together a 3-team parlay right now. Let's get this 3-team parlay going. I was 1-2 last week, so that parlay obviously wouldn't hit. But this 3-team parlay I like here. I'm going all spreads, no overs-unders, because, again, the over-unders this week are a little scary to me. So let's start with the 3 best bets of the week. I'm going with 49ers -7, Cowboys -4, and Chiefs -8.5. I feel like those are the 3 games where I feel like our blowouts are going to occur. Blowouts will happen. So, again, 49ers -7, Cowboys -4, Chiefs -8.5. Can't lose, right? We can't lose that one. So that's Rock the Spread. That's all I got for you this week. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Rare Candy YouTube channel. I'm going to do this every week if possible. I really enjoy doing it. It's fun to follow along. Makes me interested in games I'd have no interest in otherwise. And thanks for joining me. Again, you can catch me, Glen Rockney. I'm on Twitter at Glen Rockney, GlenRockney. I have a podcast with my good friend Crypto Psy called Rare Candy. We go politics, social commentary there. And then if you are a Las Vegas Raiders fan, please check out Rock Vegas, my other podcast. Again, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You get all that stuff. So check that out. It's definitely in depth on the Raiders, interviews with Josh Dubow, Marcus Johnson, BD Williams. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Best of luck to you. Again, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just putting these out there for you to make fun of me for later. So if you choose to follow at your own risk. Yeah, that's all I got. Best of luck to you. And this is Rock the Spread.